Hello, everybody. Good evening. What a beautiful night. I'm very happy to be here with you guys. And we're going to sing a couple of songs, prepare our place to get to know a little bit more about the gospel according to Spiritism. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart and charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into song. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. This song called Vibrate. Now song to Mother Zephyrina. Source of love that radiates, stirring up our cold night, support and comfort, support and comfort. Caskets flown down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in our Lord. The solution lies in our Lord. Oh, my Mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings. Make us no son a good Christian. Make us no son a good Christian.
Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you dumps, feeling sad and blue. Give life a chance, my friend, the sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in you.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus. And when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Quand la nuit tombait à Capharnaüm, la maison de pierre si simple, un foyer commun, s'emplissait de terre, dans son cœur chacun recueillait les paroles de lumière du Maître divin. telle est la loi, et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra. Et je m'imagine enfant à cet endroit-là, peut-être Jésus m'inviterait à sortir un soir dans les jardins de chez Pierre. J'entendrai sa voix à dire tu sens cette brise, la lune, tu la vois, il faut repartir tout comme elle, puisque telle est la loi. Et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra. Et pendant ta prière en famille, tous les jours on se reverra.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our public meeting. We thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place during this time if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Then, after the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We would like to announce that our public meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Americas through their Facebook, and will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know to Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. East. Our next class is going to be on January 21st, and which will be our closing class. If you want to join our study group, there will be a new class starting in the fall of this year. More information will be given soon. So now I would like to invite our brother Rodrigo from Winnipeg to make our opening prayer for us.
Good evening, Marcel. How are you?
Good evening. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here to do this initial prayer.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to invite everyone, if you wish to close your eyes, and then elevate our thoughts to our Divine Master, to God, to our spiritual friends, the mentors of this work. We ask your blessing to start one more study tonight, where we will have reflecting about New Year's resolution. We understand that we promise a lot of changes from year to year, especially at the beginning. And we hope that all the teachings that we will learn today will apply in our lives, with our family members, in our work, and our relationships with other people, especially those in need. Please bless the speaker tonight Rod Gomes from Ottawa to receive all the intuition and the blessings. And then we can learn from each other. And then we can improve ourselves and become a better person. Please, Master, protect us and stay with us during this meeting, supporting our discussion and make this reflection valuable to everyone. We hope that your teachings touch other people's hearts, and we take this in another level, that we start doing what you guide us to do. Please be with us. Please bless us. And we ask your permission to start this meeting tonight. Please protect us, stay with us today and always. So be it.
So be it. Thank you, Rodrigo. So the topic of today's special meeting is New Year's resolution, which will be facilitated by our brother Rod from Ottawa. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address the questions at the end of the talk. And now we invite our tonight's speaker. Welcome, Rod.
Hello, everyone. I hope you have a great night. And I will, like every beginning of the year, we have opportunity to restart our goals, review our thoughts and possibilities. I really like a quote from a poet from Brazil, his name is Carlos Drummond de Andrade, who said that, like, who came up with idea of cutting time into slice what was called the year, has a great idea, because 365 days is enough for us to get exhausted, to sometimes lose our motivation. And then this new cycle allows us to restart, rethink, repositioning, and try better in a different way. Well, today I like to discuss the possibilities connected to the New Year's resolutions, knowing that we are in a Spiritist talk, and obviously I will talk more about the resolutions connect to us to help us be a better person in many ways. And there is a Chinese proverb who said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, knowing that we need to understand all the changes that we want to do, that we want to accomplish in our life will demand some time. It's not that easy way to do it. We need to go quietly in our time, knowing our limitations, knowing many of our bad habits didn't start today or yesterday, some of them not even in this life. And we need to go quietly, right? But we know that we need to start. And we also know if we start something like now, in 1 year from now, we will accomplish a lot of moving. Maybe in 2 years, and 10 years from now, we will desire that we should start today is changing, because there in the future, we will see all the difference of that process. And then we see here the Spirit Emmanuel saying how to start working on our inner enlightenment. Like, how can we do this change? How can we really accomplish this transformation? And he's saying this effort must start with self-control. We need to learn how to control ourselves. Then we can accomplish some changes. The discipline of selfish and inferior feelings, guiding ourselves by the testimony of the sacrifice of other souls. Well, there are many great souls that we can mirror our acting. Emmanuel actually is one of them, right? Through his books, we see him from a very proud person with all the selfishness through a more enlightened one. And we just need to find that one who can really works for us. And then we can start transforming and also developing the self-control. There is no possible progress without closely observing ourselves. This is from the French philosopher Leon Denis. And again, to change, we need first see it. We need to visualize that change, that problem that we want to change. And the best way to do it is discover ourselves. Like, self-knowledge is very important in this process. And he's stating that it is necessary to watch all our impulsive actions to know to where we must direct our efforts to perfect ourselves. The true happiness in this world is in the ratio of self-forgetting. Progress is a result of choice. We can decide right now the sowing, but we cannot decide the harvest. Whatever we select today, the step we move forward in that direction will for sure affect our results at the end. And it's us to select the path, but the ending of the destiny itself will be according to it. Knowing that if I want good things happen to me, I need to start doing good things. But in the other words, if I'm not willing to do this, I probably will not get any transformation. And we know that, like, even simple things like a health state. If I want to be healthy, or if I want to change my quality of life, I need to do small work every day, and the accumulation of that will result in improvement. The same thing if I do opposite, right? If I eat wrongly every day, I probably will see in the future a disease like diabetes, for example, or maybe a heart disease. It's all based in the accumulation of attitude. And the progress is the same. I need to select, I need to choose that, and then things can happen. I brought here a quote from Professor Leon Denis Rivail, also known as Allan Kardec, but at this point, he was not yet Allan Kardec, he was just a French professor. And he's showing us his vision about the habit, saying, education is the result of a set of acquired habits. The same impression maintained for a certain time and frequently repeated will make one acquire a habit that becomes a second nature. Allan Kardec, or Professor Rivail, is giving us the importance of persistence and discipline to transform something new in a second nature. And this is important for us in this new year, right? What we want to accomplish will also be affected by our consistency in seeking that. Well, I will bring first the best possible model that we can have. and it's not me who is saying that, the spirits, when asked by Allan Kardec, they answer the questions, and Allan Kardec asked them, what is the perfect standard that God has offered to humankind as a guide and model? And we know that they say, look at Jesus. Jesus is the best model. He is the kind of person that had already acquired all the possible evolution. He's in the top of that. And his gospel is the model. Emmanuel is also saying here, the gospel is the building of redemption for souls. As such, the lesson of Jesus showed the thought no longer for any theoretical exposition, but with each disciple aiming to self-improvement, unfolding the edifications of the divine master in definitive terrain of the spirits. Well, clear, Emmanuel is saying, if you want to have a self-improvement, like if you want to improve yourself, you need to pay attention on that step, right? It's very important, knowing how strong is the gospel, the formula coming from the gospel, from Jesus, that can act as a transformation. And we, as Spiritists, we have an advantage because we have the same gospel, but we also have the Spirit's information. And that's better because all of us as incarnated beings, we have some limited, because we have the incarnated vision of things, right? We are passionate, we can be, let's say, not impartial in total, we can have bias, right? From one side or another, we have our own cultural history who can influence that, and the spirits, they are free. The most evolved one, they have a better vision of life. And then this is why the gospel, according to Spiritism, has this advantage, because offer those opinions from the spirits who has no boundaries on their analysis. But I'm talking about the best model, and maybe, and I can tell you for myself, I've tried to follow Jesus' guidance. His teachings are amazing. The book Gospel According to Spiritism is my daily model of lecture. Like every day I have with me, trying to understand, trying to improve myself. But was Jesus already perfect when we have the formation of Earth, like 5 billion years ago? Like a lot of time, it's a lot of evolution. And maybe for today, we should also think in another model a little bit close to us. And this is why I'm bringing also what I call a great model. And the great model is St. Paul. He's also far away from myself as a model because he's an amazing person, is a very evolved spirit. But it's a little bit closer because before Paul, right, before Paul itself, he was not a saint, as we know, meaning he was not even Paul, right? He was more human as we are. And this is important because I like to talk to you from the perspective of Saul of Tarsus. Before Paul, he was Saul of Tarsus. And I'm using some information from the book Paul Stephen, from the work of Chico Xavier to the Spirit Emmanuel, when we have a vision of first of the man, and then obviously this amazing disciple of Jesus. But let's start talking about Saul of Tarsus. He was a Pharisee. He was born approximately at the year 5 in the city of Tarsus. And he was born to Jewish parents who possessed the Roman citizenship. And he was special educated because he was Roman, but also he has all the Greek culture, and had a lot of privileges in his education, which made him a very well educated man. And about the year 10, Saul's family moved to Jerusalem. He started his studies of the Hebrew scriptures in the city of Jerusalem under one of the greatest rabbi of all time. It's Gamaliel. And under Gamaliel, Saul would begin in depth study of the law with the famous rabbi. Like, Saul was all prepared to be the leader, one of the great leaders of the Jewish people. He was he had all the knowledge, all the capabilities, and he also has the strength. Was a pride person and strong opinion on his beliefs. He participated in the persecution of the early disciple of Jesus. He was perceived a man who was seeking for justice against those who was under his opinion in the wrong path of beliefs. Sometimes after having approved of the execution of Stephen, right, we know that situation when he was responsible for the execution of Stephen. This moment is one of the saddest moments of the early Christians' story. And also, because of him, he transformed Stephen in one of the first martyrs of Christianity. Well, but then we have a moment of his transformation, right? He was traveling to Damascus so that he might find any Christians there and bring to them to Jerusalem. He was seeking all the Christians that he could find because he was seeing those as enemies. But then through the road of Damascus, he has a contact who will change his life forever. Right? He has the vision on the sun of midday. Brighter lights come around him, and so strong that light, so powerful, the way he feel it, that light calls him to fall from his horse. And then he saw the energy transforming gradually in the presence of Jesus, like the brighter sun coming to him. The Jesus presence was there. And then Christ verbally addressed Paul, at this point, Saul, regarding to his persecution. And then it's a great moment of Paul's life because he has the contact of Jesus. Jesus was already crucified, right? And then making himself present and ask one of the most famous questions of all time when Jesus asked Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? And here we start seeing the difference between Saul the Tarso and Paul the Tarso, and also Paul from Tarsus, from all of us, for many of us, let's say this way, because when he had the contact with Jesus, his answer to that situation was, Lord, what do you want me to do? No other question, no doubts. He discovered at that very moment his motive of life. Doesn't matter everything that he did before. When Jesus came to him, that was his moment of transformation. We had a very great Christmas presentation through this channel and others, where we can find this video probably here in this channel, in the YouTube channel, asking people when Jesus born, but not from 2023 years ago, but in our life. And here we have Jesus born into Paul's life. And it's good because in our New Year's resolution, we maybe will not be as exactly like Paul, but we can maybe think, did Jesus trying to contact me? Maybe through this very presentation today, or also from someone who knocked my door and asked for help, for charity, maybe through a friend or a family, and we didn't pay attention to that. But now is the moment. The year is starting. We can change that. We can move from a new reality. Was ready to learn a new way of life and apply the change in practice. This is very important. He abandoned his social position. He was a very important man of laws, and then come back to a simplicity as a waver. Secluded himself for 3 years in the desert to study and learn. He didn't start promoting, he didn't start preaching right away. He didn't start visiting people to promote Jesus' teachings right away. He decided to stop and study. Did it for years. Then decided it was time to start the work. And why is so important? Because it's also good for us to, when we want to do a change, we don't need to do it right away. We can change gradually. We need to study to really put in practice this change. And Paul is showing us, he stopped everything, no stop to work, just work in a simpler way and study about his motivation. I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. And this is one of his teachings, Paul saying, yes, I can do anything. But is everything beneficial to me? No. So I have to be selective. And this is for ourselves, like we have all the possibilities. But should we do everything? Should we try everything? Should we stop vices that we are doing right now? Yes, for sure. Is beneficial to us? Stop? Absolutely. But it's our choice to make it. This is why self-domain is part of the talking today. And again, listen to what he is saying. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A human reaps what he sows. Like our acting today will later harvest. Then we need to to be aware about that. And as a resolution for this new year, we should start doing better things. Maybe tomorrow we are not getting that back, but absolutely they will come. And through the book of spirits, question 120, Kardec asked for the spirits, must all spirits pass through the trial of evil to reach the good? And the spirits say, not evil, but ignorance. We born as a spiritual being, all ignorant. And then we need to progress, learning, applying these learning projects, getting results from that. And how about the suffering? It's for all of us to have, they are important. Let's see what Paul has to say about it. Whatever souls to please their flesh, from the flesh will reap destruction. Wherever souls to please the spirit, from the spirit will reap eternal life. Well, we can decide, please our flesh, or please our spirit. And maybe being close to the animals, we are so pleased to fulfill our flesh inclinations, right? It's through the food, through the drinks, through the sex, and many others, right? Drugs. But we need to understand our life goes far beyond the material one, and it's time to fulfill also the spiritual, because that we will keep, not for only this life, but forever. And also, Paul saying to Galatians, for the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one command, love your neighbor as yourself. This is the maximum concept from Christ that Paul is also giving us as an important, very important advice. For I do not do the good I want to do, but the evil I do not want to do, this I keep doing. Well, the good that I want to do, I do nothing. But the evil that I don't want, I keep on doing as Paul said. Right? But why we are doing that? Why we are not trying to transform ourselves? The good that we need to do, we should start. And the evil that we don't want, we should stop. We'll do 100% good and 0% evil? Absolutely not. We are not in that level. But we should start doing, because that will be the opportunity of transformation. Now, if I do what I do not want to do, it's no longer I who do it, but it's the sin living in me that does it. And here we have this thoughts from Paul saying, it's not me, it's self who is doing the evil, is the sin on me, like it's all those that connect the good and bad under my conscience. Because according to the spirits, is there inside of my conscience that is right and is written the law of God. Knowing that I always be able to separate good and bad, because I am, all of us are, as spirits, born with that information, born with the ability to see what is good and to see what is bad. And we know that because when we do bad things, evil things, the first thing that happened to us is we cannot sleep well, right? Because our conscience is telling us, okay, you don't want to see, but you know that you did this wrong. Go back there and fix it. Here I have another question from the Spiritist book, where Kardec said, have some spirits been created good and others evil? Meaning, if there are evil and good people, evil or good spirits, they were created this way. And the Spirit said, no, God created all spirits equally, simple and ignorant, without knowledge, and give them the mission of self-enlightenment and progressive leading them toward the perfections. They will, all of us will reach God through our work. This is why it's so important for us to establish goals to improve ourselves, because then we'll see us close to God every time we do something good, every time we do something better. Why have some spirits followed the path of good, but others the path of evil? Well, the spirits say they have the free will. It's not the creation of God being evil. It's our choice. It's our wrongdoing. And then it's up on us to change that, to do this transformation. I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. This is another important point from St. Paul teachings. And on that book, Paul Stephen, there's a moment, and that's in that very moment when Paul encountered Jesus, he say the other soldiers were following, asking, okay, what we can do now, what we should do. And he answered the question saying, I don't know what you will do, but I know that I don't belong to myself anymore. I belong now to Jesus Christ. And this is another moment that shows how was his determination of this changing, right away. He changed himself through this mission. And the question from the Spiritist books, question number 642. In order to be pleasing to God and to ensure our future situation, it is enough simply not do what is evil. And the Spirit say, no, all must do good to the best of their abilities. For all you answer, for all the evil that has resulted from the good they left undone. We need to do, no, it's not enough for us to avoid evil actions. We also need to do good ones. And basically, all the morality from the high spirits resides on do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. Simple like that. And it's part of our process for a better year. We start put this very simple but very hard to follow as we are quote from Jesus. But let's get a little bit practical, right? What are the most effective means for improving ourselves in this life? And the answer is know yourself, right? We need to know ourselves. We need to use this resolution for the new year to understand who we are, because if I don't want to do to others what I not want to do to myself, I need to know myself. I need to learn who I am, because then I can discover some problems, like those problems, like pride, vanity, anger, vengeance, selfishness, envy, or jealousy. Also, I can develop some qualities like affability and mindedness, beneficence, forgiveness, renunciation of many problems that I have, patience and docility, indulgence, modesty, in humility, resignation, and obedience to the laws of God. Well, we have a quote from St. Augustine when he said, "Do as I did on my time. Every day I was taking notes and of what I did wrong, what I did right, and all those my wrongdoings under the notes, next day I could try and do right. I could observe myself and see what in me was in need of changing, reformation, self-enlightenment, right? Also, it's a great for us to, through a notebook, take a note of goals that we have for this. For example, are we praying every night? And if yes, take a note of every time you do the prayer. If not, remember yourself to do it. But we also need to know we are not perfect. Can we do everything right? Probably not. Can I be perfect all the time? I don't know you, but I can't. I know how, and knowing how imperfect we are is also another goal that can change our life. My goals are realistic. Well, if I'm not doing any charity, I will not do charity every day tomorrow. But maybe I can do once a month to start, or once every 15 days. And that will be a lot more that I'm doing today, which is nothing, right? We need to understand that any transformation in our life will be done all together. It's a progressive. Remember the first slide. Every journey starts with the first step. Also, how much time I am giving to my goals? Well, this is for everything that we want to accomplish. Maybe I want to learn something new. Maybe I want to be in a better shape and be healthy. Maybe I just want to know more about Jesus Christ. For that, I need to mirror that intention to my agenda, my daily agenda. How many hours am I spending to that goal? For a week, it's 1 hour a week, 2 hours, 30 minutes. It's very important for us to include that in our agenda, or there will not be transformation at all. Which is the most meritorious of all virtues? There is one better than others? Well, the Spirit says they are all important. They are all great. But that one who is based on voluntary resistance to the allure of evil tendencies, it's great. Everything that we can do to avoid that, it's great. But the greatest of all consists in the sacrifice of one's own interests for the good of one's neighbor without ulterior motives. That we do, the help you offer without thinking about recompensations. True Spiritists are recognized by their moral transformation and the efforts they make to overcome their evil inclinations. If you want to be a true Spiritist, we need to think about that. How much efforts I'm doing for this transformation? Where to start? Well, through the forgiveness, forgiving first for sure families and friends, later enemies, but trying to also practice with patience and docility, and trying to do at least once a week projects of beneficence. And I don't mean you go It's not about money. It's not about being out. You can do it with your family. You can do it with your friends. You can do it with yourself, which is very important. Trying to practice active gratitude, right? Active gratitude is an opportunity of transformation, and understanding that gratitude is in very different places. We can be grateful for ourselves, our healthy, the food in our table with our family, and there's many possibilities of being grateful.
Mother Teresa, to me, an icon of compassionate care for the poor and the disadvantaged.
Mother Teresa was baptized Agnes Gonja Boyajiu in Skopje, Macedonia, around August 26, 1910. Born of Albanian descent, she joined the Loreto Sisters of Dublin, Ireland, at the age of 18 and took the name Sister Mary Teresa.
One of the reasons some religious members take on new names, they have a favorite saint, or they have someone who embodies for them a vision. Like Pope Francis, it's Francis of Assisi.
In 1931, Mother Teresa traveled to Calcutta, India, to teach at an all-girls high school. But on September 10, 1946, a second calling from Christ led Mother Teresa to leave her convent and devote herself to working with the poorest of the poor. With Vatican permission, in 1950, Mother Teresa created the Missionaries of Charity.
Mother Teresa is one of the great humanitarians of the 20th century because of her ability to love those who were the most vulnerable in society. The work she did in India really challenged entrenched notions of caste and gender roles, and she worked very closely with lepers and other people who were disenfranchised, marginalized, dispossessed.
During the 60s, Mother Teresa opened hospices, orphanages, and leper houses all over India, and later expanded internationally. In 1982, during the siege of Beirut, Mother Teresa traveled through a war zone to evacuate 37 children, and later assisted radiation victims at Chernobyl and earthquake victims in Armenia.
Mother Teresa cares about people. She recognizes their spiritual dignity. She takes care of not just their spiritual needs, but their bodily needs as well. And she gathers other people to help her do that. That, in my mind, is a good humanitarian.
In 1979, Mother Teresa was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize and donated the $192,000 prize fund to the poor in India. 6 years later, President Ronald Reagan awarded her with a Presidential Medal of Freedom. By 1986, Mother Teresa operated 517 missions in more than 100 countries.
A very charismatic nun, this little old nun with the wrinkled face and the very simple white sari, caring for the dying on the street, people that have so little hope. That's one of the reasons that she was given the Nobel Prize.
After years of suffering from heart, lung, and kidney problems, Mother Teresa died on September 5, 1997. 2 years later, Pope John Paul II opened a formal process toward beatification to make Mother Teresa an official Catholic saint.
Talking about the great example of charity and the soul that we can use attitude, like simple. Mother Teresa is an amazing soul that we can do. Her acting with charity, it's amazing. I remember one of her quotes saying, "I help people, the poor people, because I see that it's Jesus testing my faith through those." And there's no words that we can describe this great soul, right? And it's another one that we can use to move this year in a better one, not only for ourselves, but for many others who need. And how we can help for sure as a Spiritist group. We have every Tuesday, as today, I stood about the gospel according to Spiritism, all special talks like this. We have the gospel at home possibility, and we are open. If you want to implement the gospel at home, the studio of the gospel according to Spiritism at your home, you can contact us and request that. We're going to be happy to book a day and a time for it. And we have courses One of them, the first one, is the Get to Know Spiritism, where you will, through a live course, receive materials and have 14 classes about the Spiritism itself and many important concepts. And to finalize my talk today, I'm bringing a quote from Paul again, saying, "Forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called the heaven ward in Christ Jesus." This should be for us a great learning, because let's forget the past, our wrong attitudes, and let's look forward to our goals of being a better person, reminding us that Jesus Christ is always, always knocking our door through this very lecture, but also through the books, the amazing examples of people like Mother Teresa and Saint Paul, Chico Xavier, and many others from different Christian religions, even from non-Christian religions like Gandhi, but he never will force the door to enter in our hearts. We need to let him in, and depends on us. And to finalize the talk today, I'd just like to mention that we should use our New Year's resolution to open this door and also to practice his teachings. So I hope this talk can help you. I hope you can practice these teachings, and I wish you a great new year. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I wish you well.
Wow, what a great talking to start the year, right? So we would like to thank you, Rod, for your presentation and reflections on this lesson. And we thank you everyone for your participation in the chat. And we will now move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. Pass is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Passes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy and positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help you with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that your family and you can benefit from. We will now make our prayer in preparation for the pass, which will be our closing prayer as well. So let's close our eyes, elevate our thoughts in Jesus Christ. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to be here one more Tuesday in order to learn more about your teachings. Thank you for the inspiration of our friend Rod, who gave us lots of teachings about New Year's resolution. May the good spirits and you can help us to start our year in the better way. And may we can every day in our lives try to do the best we can to help others and to help ourselves, to evolve ourselves. Please, God, bless us, our family, our friends, bless all the humanity. May this year can be a good year to do the things that we couldn't do before, and may we have all the goodwill to start today the best we can. Please help us and bless our week. And we ask you one more time to stay with us today and always. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment that passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The path begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the Zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light. Surrender to it. Involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the pass. Thank you, God.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conference Americas at 8:30 p.m. East, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. East. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from the Spiritism Canada and the Spiritist group A Path of the Light. Have a good night.
Sorry, my life to me is way much more. No matter what seems to be, it's time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled waters, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrows, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. Someone told me long ago that life is just a long road. Sorry, babe, but life to me is way much more. No matter what it seems to be, it's always time to make a change. Sometimes all we need is only one more chance. So try, build a bridge over troubled water, fly. If that's all that you have left to do, I want more. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more, no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight. I want more happy sunny days. I want more happy smiles on your face. Love sparkling the eyes. Tears no more sorrow, no more bad days. No more cries, no more dark cold place. No more fear, no more fight.